What's up everybody, my name's Big Cam and today is a very exciting day for me because I am unboxing my 50th 1/6 scale on, I almost said Hot Toys, but no, this isn't a Hot Toys unboxing today. This is a INART unboxing, and if you stay tuned for tomorrow, there will be a collection tour of the 50 unboxed figures that I have, because unfortunately for me, I do have way over 50, like a good 70 figures I own, but I've only unboxed 49 in the 50th. If you saw the title and thumbnail of this video, would be the INART Dune Paul Atreides, and it's got like this reflective cover on it, and you can see like the little bit of the sandworm underneath there, and like it's got like this golden box, but when you slide on like the cover, it looks like, you know, the Dune is setting into the sunset, and it's becoming like the nighttime of Dune where it's dark, but it's still kind of got this orange glow to it. On the back of the box, it also kind of has a design where it says Dune, and it's got Paul Atreides' eyes. I don't even know if you can really see that. In person, you can make them out a lot better, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily, oh, there it is. Yeah, you see the eyes right there? Very interesting. As you keep going, though, it gets real dark. But you can see like the dunes of sand. It says, "Dreams are messages from the deep." Bum bum boo, bum bum boo. If you know, you know. That Mongolian throat singer or whatever the fuck. But I gotta slide off the top of this clear thing here. It says Dune on the side of the box there. That's very cool. Oh god. Very cool box. It says INART 1/6 scale collectible figure deluxe version. So this isn't just the Paul Atreides. This is the deluxe Paul Atreides from INART. This is only my second INART figure. The first INART figure I purchased, but second I will be unboxing. There is an INART Superman that I got from my local comic book shop that is behind me, already unboxed and on the shelf. If you want to go check out that video, it's already up on the channel. Go check that out. But let's not waste any more time. Let's pop off the little magnets on the side here and fold open this box. It does, you know, kind of fold open very nicely. It has this little foam on top. You peel open the top there, just like most INART stuff. It has an operations guide, pretty much an instruction manual. We'll take a big old look at that. But just to slide off the box, we got a big old tray of accessories. We'll go through everything that this guy comes with, but just to look at the body, no head attached. Very interesting that I have a figure that didn't come with its head attached, but I think this is my first like artisan figure, if you would, where I think the artisan figures do come like this more often than not. They come with no head on the body already, because that's just kind of how it's supposed to be, right? You know, because the artisan head sculpt, they don't want the hair to get ruined in transport, which I understand. But it does look like there's just a normal Paul Atreides masked head sculpt as well. Ooh, and it looks like it magnets on, so this might go on pretty easily as well. I'm very curious to see, you know, from what I've heard from INART, they have been very impressive so far, for me at least. You know, everything I've seen of them, I'm like, you know, I'm impressed. I want to see, I want to get some more, you know, that type of shit. But just to peel off the top of this foam layer, ooh, this is my first artisan figure. So my first head sculpt that I've ever gotten that comes like this. It comes in a box, and it's like a foam on top, and it's Paul Atreides. I don't even want to open it yet because I don't want to damage it, but you can see that the hair is not like the plastic sculpted hair. It is like a rooted, it looks real. It looks like real friggin' hair. And like, I'm gonna have a hard time not repping it with this head sculpt. But it does come with a hood. It does come with the, you know, full still suit look with the masked Paul Atreides. The eyes on that do look 100% like Timothy Chalamet. Oh, it comes with a backpack. It comes with a cape. Oh yeah, some very cool accessories with this guy. I can't wait any longer. You know what I mean? Like I'm so excited. It's one of these figures. The actual still suit itself, feels really good. He is skinny, but Timothée Chalamet is a skinny boy. And it does look like his arms will be able to get down very close to his side with no problem. So that's a plus. You know, some figures, it feels like they're like this. They're like swole bros at the gym. You know, they try and get their arms down by their side, but they're still up like that. You're like, Jesus, dude, stop going to the gym. Work on those legs, huh? You don't need just the shoulder workout. Work on those legs. Do some squats, would you? The area around his neck seems really tight. I'm wondering how I get this head sculpt in there. I mean, I guess you have to be a little bit aggressive, but I don't want to bust it before I even get a chance. So what I'm going to do is read the instruction manual, and then I'm going to pull every single bit of the accessories that Paul Atreides comes with out of his box here, lay them all out on the table in front of me, and we're going to take a closer look at the INART Deluxe version, Paul Atreides from Dune Part 1 and 2. I'm sure this is just Part 1, but Part 2, baby. Ooh, I loved Dune Part 2 so much, and I can't wait for Dune Part 3. And then, honestly, Denis Villeneuve will be done with Dune after that, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, he's going to do his trilogy, and then he's going to go and do a Bond movie. So, highly impressed with his career and the way that it's going, and I can't wait to see how it goes with Dune Part 3 and on from there, you know what I mean? Like, if you haven't seen some of his older work, like Sicario, fucking amazing movie. But that's enough rambling. Let's take a closer look at everything and all the accessories that Paul Atreides comes with. All right, everybody, we have INART Paul Atreides from Dune sitting here in front of us, and I will say getting in that head sculpt might be very difficult for some folk, that little plastic piece around his neck when going to put the actual head sculpt in, because it comes separate from the body. It was very, very tight. Just pull out a little hair dryer or a heat gun or something, and I was able to heat it up and get it in there no problem. And now I've left this overnight to kind of just make that fit a little bit better and hopefully, you know, loosen up that neck joint a little bit. So eventually when I go to put the Paul Atreides head sculpt in, it should be no problem. But having all of his accessories laid up, let's go through them. We have his cape here that we'll take a closer look at when it's on the figure. It does have some wires in it. And then he has a whole array of hands that we'll go through in just a second. But his other accessories, he's got the thumper, he's got a sheath and his Chris knife. He's got 2 of the grabber climber hooks for the sandworm riding. He's got a Mauler pistol that's folded up. He's got a compass. He's got a little shield device that goes around his hand or his forearm. And then he's got another attachable mask that he can wear on this head sculpt. I don't think I'll do that because I don't want to mess up the hair on that. And if I wanted to rep the mask, I would just rep this head sculpt. But he also has his Frem kit in like the, you know, backpack on the back of him strapped on there just to complete the look a little bit. And that also has a bunch of accessories in it, like the sand compactor that would be like where they make their little tents with. He also comes with a compass, a little smaller device, folded up device. He comes with a little snorkel, sand snorkel that he uses in the film. Although it doesn't attach to the masked head sculpt, it's still kind of cool that it comes with all those accessories. And you can see that little wire right there that goes around him and would plug into the nose of this head sculpt. We'll try all that when we eventually get the Paul Atreides head sculpt on this figure. But this figure comes with an impressive amount of hands, including the ones on the body. It comes with 8 sets of hands and then an extra right hand for the pistol, like a finger trigger pulling hand. But, you know, he's got just normal fist hands. He's got grabbing the knife hands. He's got more like, you know, open grabbing something, you know, bigger hands. He's got maybe, you know, grabbing something with his thumb on it hands. He's got 2 middle parted hands that are meant for the hooks to ride the sandworm. He's got 2 relaxed ungloved hands, one with the Paul Atreides house ring. Some people said nobody's going to rep the figure with those hands. Probably not both at once, but I will definitely be repping the Paul Atreides house ring over one of these gloves for sure. But definitely the gloved in the other hand to be able to hold one of these devices here. Because if you guys know me, the way I like to do my figures, I like to have him, you know, I don't have any of my figures just kind of standing there like this. They all have some type of accessories or they're doing something. You know, I don't like just museum poses necessarily unless the figure needs to stand like that because it will get damaged or whatnot. But let's take a closer look at that base in the figure himself. As you can see, the magnets in the feet are very, very strong. And the base itself has that little compartment down in the bottom where you can move the magnets around. But plop him off there. It does take a little bit of force because those magnets are pretty strong in his feet. Although they're not the best for like keeping the figure up, but it does stay pretty sturdily on that base. But the base itself looks like, you know, kind of like the buildings on Arrakis. You know, like their main fortress. It's kind of like a very shallow pyramid type of build, but it says Dune and Paul on the front there. That's a nice little touch. But the figure himself looks really, really good. Just the still suit, all the little straps, the designs on him, you know, like looks exactly like the movie. A little bit of sand, you know, and some of the crevices. I really, really like the way that the Frem suits look, you know, and honestly, the masthead sculpt looks really good too, and that does come with moving eyes as well. You can put the hood up, you can put the hood down. Very cool, very cool. And then on the back there, you can strap up his little Frem kit, and, you know, it straps onto his back, and that opens up as well. But I think it looks pretty good on the back of him, and it can also be worn on top of the, you know, cape. So we'll take a closer look at that in a second. But yeah, this figure looks really, really good. I'm very impressed with it so far. I'm very curious to see what kind of posability it has. So we'll be doing a posing section of this video in just a moment and seeing what kind of poses I can get Mr. Paul Atreides, the Lisan al-Galib, the Hizat Haderach, or whatever. He's got so many names. Usil, Paul, Timmy Chalamet. Yeah, really love this character. But let's take a closer look at that head sculpt there. So I believe you just kind of pop off the plastic top like so, just carefully so that the foam on top there doesn't mess up the hair on the way out. But the actual head sculpt itself, my goodness. I mean, it is stoic. It doesn't have like much expression, but my goodness, do you not need it? Because that Timothée Chalamet friggin' likeness is unbelievable. This is my first rooted hair figure, my first, you know, deluxe, if you would, with artisan hair. Oh my good God, that looks incredible. And if you'd think it's not, you know, yeah, like it moves, it feels like real hair. I mean, feels like 1/6 hair. Yeah, good Lord. The couple of strands going down his face. I mean, I feel like that's how it was sculpted to look, and the reason it comes in this little container anyways is because they don't want it to get damaged in transit. But my goodness, yeah, how could you not use this head sculpt? That little hair strand going down in between both of his eyes looks so real. God, he is just a little Anakin, isn't he? God, I am really blown away by this. This is 100% the craziest head sculpt I have in the collection, and probably the closest, best likeness I have to a character or an actor in this collection. Yeah, Paul Atreides, Dune has been one of my favorite movies over the last couple of years, so perfect, perfect, perfect head sculpt. And I can't wait to slap this on the body. But let's take a closer look at Mr. Paul Atreides in the still suit and see what kind of poses we can get this bad boy into before I toss the Lisan al-Galib, Timothée Chalamet head sculpt in there. And that will probably be how I end up leaving my figure. So might as well try and get some poses off with this head sculpt in so I don't damage this one in the process before I put this one in and then, you know, finalize my pose for going into the collection and getting put on the shelf. But that's enough rambling from me, y'all. Let's jump right into the posing section of this video and see what Paul Atreides can do. All right, going through some poses here for Paul Atreides. We have him just standing with his relaxed hands and just casually standing with his Frem kit on his back. This is mostly just kind of how the figure comes out of the box. And then we have him kneeling down like he's about to set up a thumper to call a sandworm. Not the most flexibility in the knees, kind of hard to get down onto a bending pose, but if you weren't trying to get him to stand on just the display base alone, might be a little bit simpler. And then I have him kneeling, opening up the Frem kit that was on his back and looking through the telescope. And then I have him with his cape on, and it's kind of flowing in the wind as he has both arms out by his side with the sandworm hooks equipped, like he's about to latch on to the top of a sandworm and ride it. And then I have his cape on, flowing in the wind with the Paul Atreides head sculpt as if he's walking towards us with the compass in one hand and his shield equipped to that same hand and the Mauler pistol in his other hand. And then I have his final pose with the Paul Atreides head sculpt, the cape, kind of standing there with a little bit of a fight pose with the may thy knife chip and shatter pose, and he's got his regular hand with the House Atreides ring on the other hand. And I really like that you can have the House Atreides ring, the shield on one hand, and then have the knife hand in the other. He also has that little device hooked up to his nose that is pretty fragile. It didn't break on me yet, so I'm just going to leave it as is. The only other thing I would say about this figure that you might want to know about is, you know, like I said earlier in the video, it is a very, very tight neck joint. So if I was you, I would put in the masked head sculpt first. That did stretch out the hole a little bit and loosen up the plastic to be able to get the Paul Atreides head sculpt in there much, much easier. But with the cape on the back and the extra cape on him, like there's a hood that normally comes on the figure, and then there's a second hood that comes on the cape. And one of those capes, I think, is like bunched up in the back there. So it's making the Paul Atreides head sculpt get like pushed forward and looking down. You know, it was very tough to have him looking, you know, with his head more back or even up, you know, like so. Just something you might want to think about if you were thinking to buying this figure. The head sculpt might not be able to bend backwards or look up, but not the biggest deal. I think I was still able to get this figure into a decent amount of poses. And this pose here is probably how I'm going to rep this figure. So I'm going to toss him into his little display box here, and I have a little light box, and I'm going to show you guys this and see what you guys think. Oh, right. So normally I would toss old Timmy Chalamet here next to some other figures and I would do a figure comparison, but I don't have any other Dune figures or any other kind of solo movie figures other than, you know, Marvel and DC type shit, you know, Star Wars. So this is my first solo figure, you know, and I have him in this light box here. I did add the thumper down by his feet, but yeah, I'd really like the way he looks alone. And stay tuned for tomorrow because there will be a 50 figure, because this Paul Atreides was my 50th figure unboxing. Wow, 50 already, can't believe it. So tomorrow we will do a full figure tour and I'll show you guys what my collection is looking like in all 50 figures. And I haven't done any of those yet. So this is my 50th figure, my second INART unboxing, and going to be my first collection tour coming tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And this Paul Atreides does look really, really good, and he looks really good with the lights on in this box and, you know, showing off his details and that hair and that rooted head sculpt, my first artisan figure as well. I think he looks really good. I'm really impressed with this figure, and yeah, just trying something a little bit new. You'll see there will be a couple of shorts on the channel for Paul Atreides, a couple of different ones, and then there will also be that collection tour video coming tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, y'all. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. My name's Big Cam. If you want to follow my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. If you enjoyed this video or if you want to check out any of my other stuff, make sure you go look and check out, you know, Dune movie review and breakdown for the trailer reaction and stuff like that on the channel. So there's other Dune content out there, but if you're a fan of unboxings, there's tons of unboxings on the channel and many to come in the future.
So make sure you hit that bell if you don't want to miss future unboxing videos. And once again, my name is Big Cam. If you made it this far into the video and you would like to follow my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. And if you made it this far and you want to support the channel, liking this video, commenting down in the comment section below, or subscribing if you haven't already are all great ways to help the channel. And thank you guys once again so much. My name is Big Cam, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.